Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Decepticast, episode 13, part 2 of this Riku-themed episode. So, this time we've got a 2 versus 2 game on Median Cliff Mines. So, let's get to the player introductions here. Let's bring that UI back up. In the blue corner, we have Dark Universe playing the Plague Champion, and Dark Rikachu, who is also known as Dark Riku, playing the Force Commander. And in the red corner, all the way across the map, we have Gpipe playing the Chaos Sorcerer, and his ally, ccXIII, playing the Warlock. Alright, so let's get this game underway. These players are all, of course, experts. We saw Gpipe play in a recent replay under the name Bob the Despoiler number 2, as I was calling him. And so, alright, let's get to the game here. We got the caps going out. We've got Warlock fleet of footing into middle as fast as those Eldars love to do. All players going for their 400 rec cost secondary tier 1 units there. Tactical Marines, Chaos Marines, and Banshees up for everybody. Gpipe getting excited about the potential for Warp Rift on this map. And here comes the first engagement. These Chaos Marines are going to bump into that Warlock, start firing, but they're going to meet up with some other Chaos Marines and the Chaos Sorcerer. There goes those purple Doom Bolts blasting into there. Banshees, meanwhile, charging in on that Plague Champion. They've knocked him over. They're getting a chain knockback on him. Oh no, that's not supposed to happen. But they get driven out ultimately by the Heretics and Chaos Marines there. Meanwhile, these scouts have successfully kept this contested wreck point. And the attacks are now trying to decap this power node while the Force Commander charges in. Scouts trying to get a little kiting action down on those Heretics. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we've got a nice Eldar versus Chaos skirmish. These Heretics suffering a bit of damage. They don't want to be the ones soaking the damage. They want to be in the back doing their Nurgle worship, healing the damage. These Heretics are getting quite low against these Tactical Marines, and with the Force Commander moving in to intercept, this might be a squad wipe. Oh no, the Aspiring Champion appears and saves their bacon. And in addition to that Doom Bolt, that's going to force a retreat out of those attacks and the Force Commander. The Scouts, however, stay in the field. We missed that Nurgle worship there, but that's what forced these the Warlock and the Guardians back there. Ultimately, they can't do any damage to Chaos Marines in green cover with Nurgle worship behind them. These Scouts are now trying to dance around delicately, trying to avoid encountering the double Chaos Marines, as these will almost instantly bleed models from this squad. And there they've started pew-pewing away as they try to decap this requisition node. They're going to bump into that Sorcerer. Those Doom Bolts are going to be bad, so they're going to retreat. They may lose a model to a Chaos Sorcerer attack here. However, he's not going for the back models. He's indeed moving forward. Meanwhile, some Heretics have bled off of this squad, but an Aspiring Champion does appear. He's going to have to screen for these Chaos Marines, although double Chaos Marines is up. Those Banshees are going to have to get out of there with that Bile Spear behind them. The Plague Champion's going to have to retreat as well. He may get killed off by a retreat nade here if he's not careful, or just regular DPS. There goes the retreat nade, but it catches the Guardians themselves and the Warlock, forcing off the Guardians, forcing back the Warlock. The Shuriken, however, is going to set up nicely and screen this VP for the red team to hopefully reclaim. There's some Tzeentch worship over here providing some nice infiltration for the double Chaos Marine and Chaos Sorcerer, who are going to suddenly ambush this tack squad as it approaches what it thinks to be safe, but however they are going to get into cover and wisely start pew-pewing away at those Heretics bleeding models without engaging. That Warlock was indeed eventually forced off there by that double Chaos Marine squad. The Shuriken is de-set up. In come the Assault Marines, jumping on those. Oh, there's the Warp Rift. However, the attacks deftly dodge it. And bleeding models off those Chaos Marines. The Chaos Lord, or the Force Commander, by the way, has been upgraded with the Power Sword, which both enhances the effect of his battle cry as well as changing his melee type to power melee and increasing its damage, which makes him far more effective against the Heretic Expiring Champion as well as the Chaos Marine squads themselves. Couldn't quite get a Heretic wipe there. They're going to get out as well, the Chaos Marines that is, without losing any models. This Bile Spear is just going to wreck up these Guardians, as it does do a flamer type of damage, and they are light infantry. There is the Shuriken Cannon. A Havoc now to answer that, as the Plague Champion tries to get within the healing range of this Nurgle worship. However, these heretics are now bleeding horribly. There's the suppression down on that Shuriken Cannon. That's going to allow the Plague Champion to get close enough to start bile spewing. Meanwhile, a Gen Bash did go down successfully on this node. So blue team is leading in power at this point, but I think they're also leading in power expended in Tier 1. That being that the Gpipe has only bought an Inspiring Champion and the Warp Rift token there. Force Commander going to have to pull back there, however he is upgrading with the Armor of Alacrity, so he will have Sprint. Oh boy, that champion has to be really careful. He's low on hit points, and there are Rangers on the field. They could easily snipe him. The Shuriken's setting up now. That's going to stop that decap from this squad of Chaos Marines, which are already 1 unit low. Oh, there goes the Warp Rift. Where did that summon that Havoc Squad to? All the way over here into the middle of all these units, so that's going to force a quick retreat out of Dark Universe there. Plague Champion getting quite low even with Mucus Discharge. Oh, the Rangers take him down on retreat. Oh boy, and those Heretics are going to have to get out of there as well, along with the other Chaos Marine squad. Interference now being run. Force melee coming from all these squads, however, they aren't quite close enough to swing and cause any more losses. The red team's equaling out their power node loss on the right side with the power node in the middle. However, that is being threatened now by this Space Marine player. Blue team both going to Tier 2 at this point, however, ccXIII is not, Gpipe is. Assaults are the perfect counter to Rangers, however there are Banshees there, so that's not going to be as secure of an approach as they would have hoped. Force Commander with Battle Cry now going to sprint in and start his special chain, which is going to cause massive knockbacks on those Banshees. That's going to bleed a model right there. That model, is down. Meanwhile, Cloaking Field from the Rangers Pathfinder gear there, or Hollow Field as it's called, is stealthing those Banshees nicely. Havoc's now going to provide defense on this node, assuming Doombolt. Oh, it did just barbecue them there, along with the fire from the double Chaos Marine squad. Banshees now in hot pursuit of these tactical Marines and Scouts. They aren't going to cause a model loss before turning around to recap the territory they just lost. A bit of a double here, as Gpipe's forces cause a Gen Bash while the Shuriken covers said bash. Meanwhile, red team finally taking back their natural power node on the south side of the map. Southeast, I guess it is. If you look at the compass direction, north is into the upper left, and not this point as one would assume. A nice grenade down on those Heretics, almost wiping the squad. All that's left is the Aspiring Champion. Will he get out? I don't think he's gonna make it. Force melee out of the Chaos Marine squads finishes that off. Oh no, oh no, and even the Force Commander and Chaos Marines trying to run a screen there couldn't do it. That Force Commander's gonna have to get out of there very soon. And indeed he does. A Razorback now on the field for Dark Riku. Noise Marines coming in for Dark Universe. Bloodletters coming in for Gpipe. Likely going to be used in conjunction with that Warp Rift to bring ranged squads into the middle of them and then kill them before they can retreat. But in comes the Razorback, and there is no other AV on the field yet. These Scouts need to be careful, and indeed they retreat quickly. In come the Bloodletters. Oh nope, that's a Warp Rift on the Havocs again. The Banshees are going to rush in. Oh no, those Havocs may not be able to make it out, and oh no, they weren't. Oh boy, that was a bad loss for Dark Universe. Force Commander still stubbornly staying in this game. Assaults jump into this Razorback for safety. Razorback needs to be careful of those Bloodletters. However, they do turn back, fearing what might be just around the corner and prioritizing getting that VP capped in their favor so they can get that triple cap up. Noise Marine does have a Blastmaster, so it's going to start firing. Oh, wow! Causing, looks like one model loss there on that squad right away, forcing them out. Heretics now jumping in on this Razorback, and they're going to have to ultimately retreat there with those scouts with shotguns nearby and the assaults inside. The scouts are going to repair while the assaults go capture. Those Noise Marines not quite able to fire their Blastmaster onto that Warlock, instead opting for those Rangers. And in come the Bloodletters. Their teleport is going to mean that that Blastmaster is going to have to pull back. The Razorback needs to be very careful now. Blastmaster getting perhaps a little bit too close there to that Shuriken. A Falcon on the field now for ccXIII. Or I guess that is 53? No. 73, right? I don't know. It's been a while since high school and the Roman numerals were relevant. Another nice warp rift on these Chaos Marines, however they're just going to walk out and be screened by the Plague Champion and the Force Commander. Rocket Tactical Marines upgraded with their Sergeant, having to get out of there before getting chewed up by those Bloodletters. This is a very dangerous position to be in for this player, as any retreat will go through this middle where there may be red forces lying in wait. However, that Merciless Strike just forced a very nice retreat off those Chaos Marines, and the grenade as well, catching a few of them on retreat, bleeding one model. That Blastmaster now is posing a threat to all of these Eldar forces. They're going to set up way back to be sure they are safe. Meanwhile, these Bloodletters are going to come in, and along with the Banshees are going to almost guarantee a wipe on this Blastmaster, assuming they focus it, and they are. Oh man, he barely gets out with two models there. Those assaults are in a lot of trouble at this point. They're going to have to back out. Nice rocket attack launch on that Falcon. If only those assaults could get close enough to drop a Melta. There's now a Chaos Dreadnought on the way for Dark Universe, while Gpipe is going for Tier 3. No other units are on the field or forthcoming. The Force Commander is going to die here. There's no way he's making it away from those Banshees, and the Bloodletter is running a screen on that Razorback as the Banshees and Bloodletters now focus fire those assaults, and they do not have enough mana to jump. They did, however, have enough to Merciless Strike, and that is going to save them. Unfortunately, not their Sergeant. The rocket attacks are now going to drive off that Falcon, a misfire at that Warlock. VP's now about 107 in favor of red team. However, blue team is about to turn the caps around here, assuming these Chaos Marines Ninja goes off without a hitch. Razorback now causing quite a bit of decent harassment here, as red team has no ranged anti-vehicle. It can feel free to do that as long as no melee comes in. That's going to screen the res by the Plague Champion, even with the warp fire on the Force Commander, who is, instead of running, just going to pop Alacrity and then retreat. And that's going to be a Tzeentch Dreadnought barraging into those heretics and suppressing the Chaos Marines as well. He's going to get in on that business and start pummeling them with rockets. Unfortunately, the terrain is catching a few of those. Now with this Tzeentch Dread on the field, that Falcon's going to have to be very, very, very careful. In come the Bloodletters. Dreadnought does notice and is starting to move. However, the Razorback is about to finish off a Chaos Marine squad and does so. A very nice pickup for blue team. However, Gpipe has now got a Chaos Pred in on the way, and as 73 let's say his name is, has tier 3 as well.